What we would like to know now is the real reason the group is breaking up.
The real reason.
Destiny's Child was undoubtedly one of the biggest girl groups in the late 90s and early 2000s. The original members included Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Latavia Robertson, and LaToya Luckett. The girls transitioned from childhood friends to stars, and everything seemed to be going really well for them. But then, things started to go wrong when they were recording their second album. And before we knew it, Latavia and LaToya left the group without any warning. It turns out that a lot was going on behind the scenes, and details will totally surprise you. During all their interviews after they left the group, LaToya and Latavia insisted that they never left Destiny's Child. They claimed that they were kicked out of the group by management, and here's the crazy part. They said that they didn't even know that they were going to be dropped, but it seems like everyone had their own version of what actually happened. During the recording of Destiny's Child's second album, The Writing on the Wall, it was alleged that LaToya and Latavia started having issues with how the group was being managed. Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father, was their manager, and they accused him of some pretty interesting things. They said that he was favoring some group members. They also accused him of not paying them well enough and setting Beyonce up for a solo career while not doing the same for the other girls. And you'll never guess what they did about it. LaToya and Latavia wrote a statement saying that they wanted to have their own manager. They said that they didn't want Matthew to continue managing them, and I guess that's when he decided to kick them out of the group. Matthew said that there was no way Columbia Records was going to accept two different managers for the same group. He thought that having internal conflicts was going to jeopardize Destiny's Child, so he kicked LaToya and Latavia out. Interestingly, he never told LaToya and Latavia about his decision. He apparently just let them find out about it in the most shocking of ways. While coming from a tour with Jagged Edge, the girls did an interview and said how excited they were to take a rest and get ready to record the video for the song Say My Name. Little did they know that LaToya and Latavia wouldn't be a part of the video. Matthew recruited new members of Destiny's Child, and they even recorded the video in secret. LaToya and Latavia found out that they'd been left out of the video when it was launched, which sounds pretty shocking, especially because they were part of the studio recording. But it turns out that Matthew had gotten the new group members, Michelle Williams and Ferrera Franklin, to record the song. During their first interview with Throwback TV after being dropped from Destiny's Child, LaToya and Latavia claimed that they didn't have a problem with Beyonce or Kelly, which was pretty controversial because they filed a lawsuit against them. They first filed a lawsuit against the management for forcefully kicking them out of the group and refusing to share financial information with them and their parents. They claimed that they didn't know how much the group was making and that Matthew was mismanaging the group's finances. But even before the lawsuit was settled, they filed another lawsuit against Beyonce and Kelly, and the reason behind it will totally shock you. LaToya and Latavia claimed that the song Survivor was aimed at them, and they accused Beyonce and Kelly of career sabotage. The case was settled in 2002, and all parties were found guilty of breaching their contract, but the lawsuit didn't get LaToya and Latavia back in the group. Destiny's Child had already moved on, and you'll never guess how people reacted to the change. Even though there were some mixed feelings about the changes in Destiny's Child, it seemed like their fans were going to support them no matter what. While some people said they had preferred the original members to remain, most welcomed Michelle and Ferrera to the group. Some even said that it was hard to know that the girls were new because they blended in so well and always gave an awesome performance. And I can't even begin to imagine how hard this must have been for LaToya and Latavia. Watching the whole world move on as they were trying to process what was going on must have been pretty insane. And it looks like the whole drama really took a toll on both of them because they really struggled to get back on their feet. Soon after leaving Destiny's Child, they both joined another group called Angel, but things didn't go as expected. They didn't release any albums, but that's not all. The group also got disbanded pretty soon after they joined. LaToya decided to pursue a solo career, and it turns out that this was a really good decision. She released 3 albums, including a sophomore album called LaToya. The album got platinum status, and that's not all. She also transitioned to acting in TV and movies. She had a successful acting career, appearing in projects like Greenleaf and Preacher's Kid, but it looks like Latavia had a much harder time after the split from Destiny's Child and Angel. She survived by earning royalties from the songs she'd written for Destiny's Child's second album, but she says that wasn't enough. This became so hard that she slipped into depression. She also started drinking too much, and her life just took a pretty dark turn. During an interview with People in 2016, Latavia admitted that being dropped by Destiny's Child wasn't pretty at all. She said that talking about it still hurt her, even though she had forgiven everyone that was involved. She revealed that being dropped from the group drove her to depression, and it took years to get back on her feet. Luckily, she recovered and even wrote a memoir about her life in 2017. Interestingly, Ferrera also didn't last in Destiny's Child. She left the group just 6 months after joining, and the reason behind it is pretty crazy. It turns out that Ferrera only showed up for work whenever she felt like it. Matthew said that Ferrera lacked the work ethic she needed to survive in the group. He said that Kelly and Beyonce had never missed a day of work, yet Ferreira started missing work as soon as she joined the group. She ended up leaving really fast, and you'll never guess how things turned out for her. Ferreira decided to pursue her own solo career, but it looks like she wasn't ready for that either. She got fired by not one, but 2 record labels for not showing up. She then also tried her hand at reality TV. Ferreira participated in Patty Stranger's Millionaire Matchmaker, but that didn't go well either. She was accused of showing up late or not showing up at all. Apparently, she once showed up for a date 4 hours late, and that was the end of her reality TV career. Ferreira then decided to move from LA to Atlanta in 2014 to restart her music career. She hasn't released any album yet, but she has released several singles like Billionaire Dollar, Fancy, and Push Up On Me, which was released in June 2020. And it looks like Destiny's Child was always full of surprises. After having a successful career with at least 3 members, Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle, they shocked the whole world when they announced their split in 2004. I mean, no one really expected it because they were doing so well. And I guess their split was even more shocking because they all had successful solo careers but managed to keep the group going. In their joint statement, they said that they decided to disband the group because it was time for them to concentrate on their solo career. And it seems like they really were ready because they've all had a really successful solo career. Recently, everyone got really excited when they performed together again during their iconic 2018 Coachella reunion. But Kelly was quick to make it clear that Destiny's Child wouldn't be coming back. Still, it was great seeing them perform together again, and I hope they do it again sometime in the future. But what do you guys think? Do you think that they will perform together again? And what do you make of their story? Let me know in the comments below.